Alright guys, welcome back. This is a review of Fruits Basket 2019 episode 7. So in the last episode, it left off with Hatori calling Tohru saying that you better come, I want to talk to you at the main house, you better come or else something's going to happen, which it just winds up being a talk too in this episode as we turn out. And in fact, she'll find out what happens is actually him just talking about giving her the camera back. But we're finally introduced to Hatori, who turns out to be the sea dragon, or a seahorse. He turns into a seahorse or a sea dragon. So he's the dragon of the zodiac. And they didn't explain it in this episode, even though it's in the manga chapter that this is animated from. But hopefully they'll bring it up late in a different episode. But it is explained why Hatori actually turns into a sea dragon and not an actual dragon, or a seahorse and not an actual dragon. But this is probably the first time in Fruits Basket that we get definitely a little bit more on the emotional side, where you actually get to see just a little bit of a hint of how dark this series can actually get and how serious it can actually get. So of course we have the story of Hatori. And he's really just calls Tohru to the main house because he wants to warn her and say, "Hey, listen, I, I, I'm pretty sure Keto is using you in some way. I don't want you to get hurt, so I'm just warning you to get out if when you can." To which Tohru says, "No, I'm happy here. I want to stay." And he's like, "Okay." And then of course Momiji comes in and explains that Hatori. Hatori had a previous girlfriend slash fiance who he was very close to, and they had fallen in love, and she even found out about the whole zodiac, and she was cool with it. And then when they asked to get married, Akito got really angry and wound up hurting Hatori's eye, his left eye, so he's almost blind in it. And Hatori wound up having to erase Kana's memories of them being in love. Uh, and then of course that was from Momiji's perspective, and then of course the second half of the episode we actually get the complete story of Hatori and Kana and their all relationship from Hatori's perspective in a flashback. Now this episode covers chapters 10 and 12. And it pretty much it plays out just about the exact same way that the original episode did from the original series, which also animated 10 and 12 together. Because of course in the manga, chapter 12, or the second half of this episode, doesn't actually take place until after New Year's, and Tohru runs into Hatori after she had just gone to her first shrine visit, and she winds up slipping on ice, and he catches her, and then he transforms, and so they're just like in some random park. So I feel that it actually works better in this episode, in that it's like, oh, they're actually at the Soma estate, so it definitely allows it to be like, okay, it's a little bit more believable in terms of it's not just like, oh, it's at some random park that they're at and that no one happened to be there at the time. So again, pretty much it plays out the exact same way, especially the first half of the episode. Especially when compared to the original series slash the manga. I mean, it plays out basically the same. But the second half is really, I mean, the second half plays out the same too. Only it's just more of like where characters' locations were at are different. So like in the manga, of course, they were, for the second half of the episode, they were at some random park when Hatori caught Tohru after she slipped. In the original, they were pretty much at the doctor's, at his office the entire time, and she had pretty much slipped on like the patio, whatever, and he caught her and transformed. And again, they were in his office pretty much the entire time. And then, of course, in this one, it's Hatori is walking her back to the main gate, and she slips down the stairs. Funny enough, that's the second time that happened. If you go back to, I think, episode 3, yeah, she slipped down the stairs, and of course he catches her and transforms. Um, Again, but everything basically plays out the same. The only difference being that, and it's just, again, it's just pretty much their locations are different. The only main thing that it's actually kind of different is that in this new one, you actually get to see kind of a conclusion to the Hatori Kana story, because in the original one, it was just kind of left with Hatori wished that, you know, he's like, I pray that, you know, she'll one day find someone who she can fall in love with and be happy with, and they'll make her truly happy. Um, and it just, the original kind of just left it at that. But in the course of the manga and in this one, they actually show, no, while after he transforms back, and Tohru runs off to go get some shoes, his shoes, even though in the manga it was she went to go get something hot for them to drink. As Hatori is sitting there, he overhears Slashy's Kana and some of her friends walk by, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm back here to get married, and just to kind of drop in and say hello and whatnot." And he's like, "Okay, good. I'm glad that she's happy now. I'm glad that she's with someone that makes her smile, and I'm happy that she's happy, basically." And so you actually get a nice conclusion to it in this version. And then really the only other difference is that in the manga and in the original, as Tohru is leaving the main house with Shigure, she sees Akito kind of hanging out of a window a little bit. He's kind of leaning up against a windowsill and then disappears before asking Shigure about what the curse is. But in this one, they have it a little bit different in that as they're leaving, a car drives by and Akito is in it, and they kind of see each other, and then that's when Tohru asks Shigure about what their curse is. And it's actually really interesting because if you pay really close attention to the scene where Akito drives by, you'll see a character that is the first. It's his first appearance ever in the anime, because he wasn't even in the original, and it's going to be a while before he actually appears again, or is even properly introduced into the new series. But I'm so happy that that got shown. Just a little tease. So, but it's good. I'm so happy about that. That's about it, really. So I thought the episode was great. It's definitely opens up a lot of curiosity and mystery as to what's going on for the people who've never seen the series or read the series before. So it's gonna be interesting. I love hearing people's reactions who haven't seen the series, haven't seen or read the series. It's so interesting reading and hearing their theories about what's going on. It's pretty fun. That's really about it. So, I guess thanks for watching, and bye for now.